In the second year of dating Ethan, I remained hidden from the public eye. At the Victoria Harbour Gala, I stood on stage as the performing pop star while he basked in the spotlight of the VIP section. His mother routinely dismissed me with, "Just a lounge singer." Ethan knows his boundaries. When he became engaged to Sophia of the Turner family, his inner circle inquired about my status. Ethan smirked carelessly, cigarette smoke curling around his fingers. "Keep one in Hong Kong and another on the mainland. It's not like I can't afford both." Years later at an awards ceremony, I accepted the Best Actress trophy before announcing my temporary retirement. The host pressed for reasons, cradling my barely visible baby bump. I smiled. Early pregnancy makes my husband nervous about me working. Below the stage, Ethan, perpetually composed, suddenly stood, eyes bloodshot and fists trembling. His custom-tailored suit wrinkled under the harsh stage lights as security scrambled to shield his uncharacteristic outburst. That gala night years prior, he'd occupied the center throne of the first row VIP seats while I shivered in sequins under cold spotlights. My hips swayed to the sultry melody of a 90s movie theme. Rouge-stained lips blowing kisses to faceless patrons. His applause lasted precisely 3 beats before he exited with an entourage of 20, leaving half the venue empty. Backstage, my phone lit up with his message, "Car waiting." The fluorescent dressing room mirror reflected my bitter smile. 2 years together, yet I remained his dirty secret. His mother's bridge club still referred to me as that Cole boy's cabaret distraction. Only his inner circle knew my real title. Tonight's performance reinforced the truth. Between Ethan of the Cole family empire and Vivian the entertainer stretched an uncrossable chasm. On his birthday, I'd cancelled filming to surprise him at the Repulse Bay Hotel. The penthouse buzzed with heir apparents and champagne when I arrived. Through the ajar door, their conversation froze me. Seriously marrying Sophia? Even crown princes can't escape arranged marriages. Huh? What about Vivian? You've kept her longer than others. Ethan's laugh carried nicotine and cruelty. Hong Kong mistresses require separate residences. Mainland ones prefer Shanghai. Simple logistics. The gift box slipped from my numb fingers. Summer humidity turned Arctic as I fled down fire escapes. He caught me at the elevator, grip bruising my wrist. "Vivian, be reasonable," he murmured, thumb stroking my racing pulse like taming a skittish songbird. His Armani collar bore another woman's peach lipstick smudge. "Let's break up." "What did you say?" I said, "Let's break up." Ethan. I finally looked up at him. This thought had been lingering since the first time I heard his mother speak of me that way. But hearing those words from him directly confirmed it. Vivian and Ethan were truly over. "Darling, you know I never cared for Sophia." His voice remained gentle yet persuasive. "Didn't you always want to work with director Eric? I'll secure the leading role in his film for you." Ethan had never helped me obtain resources before, fearing rumors about our relationship. Now he wanted me to trade being his mistress for a leading role? I laughed bitterly, pushing him away. "Ethan, I sincerely wish you happiness in your engagement. And from now on, let's not see each other again." "Vivian, are you sure you want to provoke me?" I stepped into the elevator without looking back. After the breakup, my entire career in Hong Kong ground to a halt. Meanwhile, Ethan began publicly promoting rising star Emma. Every resource I lost flowed into her hands effortlessly, including the coveted collaboration with director Eric I'd dreamed of for years. At a gala, I watched Ethan enter with the radiant Emma on his arm. Our eyes met, yet my heart remained unnervingly calm. Setting down my champagne flute, I turned to leave. Ethan blocked my path. "Come back now. Miss Emma is young and beautiful. You've got good taste." His brow furrowed. "Darling, don't test my patience repeatedly." I regarded him coolly. "I'm returning to the mainland. Starting over can't be worse than starving here." Ethan laughed mirthlessly. "You think returning to the mainland means a fresh start?" Without my approval. Who in the entertainment industry would dare work with you? Trapped by my unexpired agency contract. I needed $3 million to break free. Until then, Hong Kong remained my prison. At another event, my agent urged me to network. Emma stood surrounded by bodyguards and assistants near director Eric, whispering something that made his gaze turn frosty toward me. Soon a server approached with a liquor bottle. Miss Vivian, finish this and the supporting role in director Eric's film is yours. I studied the bottle. Then the director. Some prejudices require action, not explanation. I reached for the bottle. On my third shot, the ballroom suddenly hushed. Through the crowd, I saw an imposing figure in a tailored black suit entering with entourage, followed by an uncharacteristically deferential Ethan. Emma materialized behind me. Do you know who that is? I turned around to see Emma smiling mysteriously. Ethan's uncle. The heir to the Hamilton family who controls half of Asia's financial empire through Summit International. That man is the most unattainable figure in Harbor City. Vivian, if you could get close to him, wouldn't you dominate the entertainment industry? Emma's voice dripped with temptation. I knew she was up to no good, but my intoxicated gaze still drifted toward Alexander at the center of the crowd. The man's handsome face remained impassive, showing no emotion, yet his aura was terrifyingly powerful. Perhaps because I'd stared too long. His gaze suddenly locked onto mine. Alcohol slowed my reflexes, leaving me trapped in that eye contact for 2 full seconds. I hastily looked away, my dizziness intensifying as I stood to head to the restroom. The alcohol surged up, and I vomited miserably. After cleaning up, I stepped out only to witness an unexpected scene. The renowned Triple Crown actress Olivia stood red-eyed, a business card frozen awkwardly in her outstretched hand. Alexander regarded her coldly, his gaze utterly devoid of warmth, making no move to accept it. Olivia eventually left wiping her tears. It was then that Alexander noticed me. The moment his eyes met mine, I inexplicably opened my clutch and extended my own card toward him. Mr. Hamilton. I'm Vivian from Starlight Entertainment. Alexander's gaze traveled slowly from my face to the card. Then he arched an eyebrow, his lips curling with interest. Following his gaze, I belatedly realized I hadn't handed him a business card at all, but rather the hotel keycard provided by tonight's event organizers. Flustered, I tried to withdraw my hand, but Alexander reached out and took the card. His slender fingers closed around the keycard as his eyes returned to mine, that faint amusement still lingering. Miss Mitchell, he said. See you later. I watched helplessly as Alexander pocketed the keycard and turned to leave. Stunned, I hurried after him. Mr. Hamilton. His secretary intercepted me with practiced politeness. Miss Mitchell. She smiled. Please come with me. Thinking it crucial to clarify the misunderstanding, I obediently followed her into the elevator. The Intercontinental's penthouse suite, exclusively Alexander's domain. As my intoxication began to fade, the door opened to reveal Alexander entering, followed by assistants carrying briefcases and laptops. Bringing up the rear, my agent pushed my luggage cart. Meek as a quail. Aunt Fong? I exclaimed, rising abruptly. Vivian, your luggage is all here. I'll head out now, call if you need anything. Aunt Fong set down the suitcases, threw me exaggerated meaningful looks, and scurried away. The assistants efficiently arranged the belongings before filing out with military precision. The room held only Alexander and me now. I wished the floor would swallow me whole. Mr. Hamilton. What happened earlier was a misunderstanding. Scented with whiskey. Alexander loosened his tie and settled onto the sofa. Misunderstanding? He tossed the tie aside, meeting my eyes. Then explain. Miss Mitchell. Why you handed me a room key. Blushing furiously, I stammered. I meant to give you my business card. It was an accident. Alexander smiled faintly. And why give me your card at all? I hope to make your acquaintance. In case you ever invest in films or series, you might consider me. My voice dwindled as my shoulders slumped in defeat. There are plenty of people wanting to climb the social ladder through him. Why would he show me special favors? My apologies for the presumption. I sniffled and bowed deeply. Alexander, I've disturbed you. I'll take my leave now. Vivian. Alexander stopped me as I turned. Did I refuse you? Alexander? I blinked in surprise. Does that mean you'll consider my proposal? He gave a slight nod. I bit my lip, gathering courage to ask. Would you still consider it, without requiring any inappropriate arrangements? Amusement softened his sharp features. No such arrangements needed. However, I do have another condition. My guard went up instantly. What condition? I require a wife. His gaze locked with mine, voice dropping to that velvet tone that inexplicably made my pulse race. Would you be interested? Vivian? I froze. Emma had told me Alexander was the heir to Hamilton Enterprises, the most unattainable social prize in Hong Kong. Countless heiresses would kill to marry him. Why would he need to propose this? The universe didn't hand out free lunches, especially considering he was Ethan's maternal uncle. Alarm bells rang in my mind. Alexander, you must know I used to date Ethan. He shifted positions, stretching his arm across the sofa back. I'm aware. You're aware? My confusion grew. Mrs. Cole from the Cole family despised me. Since your siblings. Mrs. Cole is the Hamilton family's adopted daughter, not my blood relative. His tone remained neutral. Her opinion of you is irrelevant to our arrangement. But I twisted my hands. Wouldn't this cause embarrassment? Having your nephew's ex become your wife. The gossip. A wry smile touched his lips. I don't recall anyone in Hong Kong daring to comment on my private affairs. His expression sobered. Though your repeated objections tonight are becoming rather embarrassing. Vivian. That's not what I meant. Heat flooded my cheeks. Then do we have an agreement? Could I have time to consider? He checked his platinum wristwatch and stood. You may stay here tonight. Give me your answer by morning. His gesture encompassed the penthouse. Choose any of the 4 bedrooms. And you'll be staying here as well. At my widened eyes. He chuckled. Rest assured, Vivian. Until you accept my proposal, I'll maintain perfect decorum. I expected to lie awake all night. Yet after washing up, I fell asleep the moment my head touched the pillow. The wine's warmth carried me into dreamless depths. Morning light brought clarity. Every detail of last night's conversation remained vivid. Alexander's proposition, that devastatingly handsome face, and the dangerous opportunity dangling before me. I lay in bed, pondering how to respond when my phone vibrated suddenly. Glancing at the screen, I saw Ethan's call. After hesitating, I answered. Where are you, Mr. Cole? Is there something you need? Emma told me you intercepted my uncle in the hallway last night. His mocking laugh traveled through the receiver. Vivian. Desperation isn't license for recklessness. If you can't even enter the Cole family's gates, what makes you think the Hamiltons' doors will open for you? My grip tightened on the phone until my fingertips turned white. That casual derision, that effortless condescension cut deeper than any blade. It felt like my blood was draining from the wound, leaving the world tilting sideways as I slowly sat up. Listen, sweetheart. I know you've been wronged these past weeks. Promoting Emma was just temporary retaliation. You know you're the one I truly care about. Dynastic marriages happen all the time. But I swear once she bears an heir, I'll never touch her again. You'll be my only. Ethan. My voice rasped, startling myself. I realized how long it had been since I'd used his full name. Let's end this before we ruin whatever beauty our relationship once held. Don't make me regret ever loving someone so contemptible. The silence stretched. Vivian, he finally said. I've never humbled myself like this for any woman. Can't you understand my position? This is your last chance. My decision's made. Think carefully. There'll be no turning back. I have. Fine. The line went dead. By the time I finished washing up and changing, it was nearly 9. Alexander wasn't in the living room. The faint murmur of conversation drifted from his slightly ajar study door. I ate breakfast without disturbing him. He emerged as I finished. Dressed in smoke gray shirt and black trousers. 2 buttons casually undone at the collar. Good morning, Ms. Mitchell. Good morning, Mr. Hamilton. Relax, he said, gesturing to the sofa. You needn't fear any coercion here. I perched opposite him, hands clasped. If I agree to marriage, could we keep it private initially? His eyebrow arched. Reason? I want to keep acting and singing. Even married. I need my career. Ah. He nodded. You don't want special treatment as Mrs. Hamilton. Prefer to prove your own worth. Yes. It might sound naive, but integrity isn't foolishness. His gaze held mine. Your terms are acceptable. This isn't a joke. Miss Vivian. The fact that you think this way only proves I didn't misjudge you. Then, you agree? Of course. Mr. Alexander. Honestly, I'm surprised. Many old money families here in Hong Kong frown upon women and their households being in the public eye, especially in the entertainment industry. I thought Alexander would never approve. Any more questions? Just one. I bit my lip before gathering courage. You said you need a wife. I won't pry into your reasons. But I assume this is temporary. What people call a contractual marriage. So, Mr. Alexander, how long do you want this arrangement to last? The moment the words left my mouth, I noticed Alexander's brows furrow slightly. Mr. Alexander. I apologize if I've overstepped. His long fingers rose to massage his temple as he sighed with that same resigned amusement from last night. Miss Vivian. This isn't temporary. Not a contractual marriage. His gaze turned solemn. There's no expiration date to being husband and wife. If you insist on an answer, there's only one. What is it? The day I draw my last breath. The entire marriage registration process felt like walking through a drunken haze. My mind was a foggy blank, resulting in stiff, awkward smiles during our photo session. Yet Alexander looked devastatingly handsome, a feat considering I'd grown immune to good looks after years in an industry overflowing with beautiful people. The sight of his face on the marriage certificate still made my heart flutter like a schoolgirl's. Enough staring. Alexander smoothly confiscated both documents, his hand naturally enveloping mine. The real thing is right here. You can look all you want from now on. Heat flooded my cheeks as I tried to pull back. But his grip tightened. Let's go home. To meet your parents? I tensed. They're still vacationing abroad. We'll see them after they return. The relief left me breathless. Plan your schedule, we're visiting the mainland soon. What for? To apologize to your parents. He drew me into a chaste embrace, lips barely grazing my forehead. I married their precious daughter without their blessing. The least I can do is kneel for forgiveness. Alexander. Emotion thickened my throat. Regardless of his motives for marrying me, regardless of hidden agendas, he'd shown nothing but respect. Not once had he made me uncomfortable. The contrast with Ethan was stark. During our nearly 2-year relationship, my parents had begged to meet him, yet he'd always refused. Even when they visited Hong Kong last year, Ethan never appeared, though his assistants had meticulously arranged every detail. I'd felt their heart break like physical wounds. At that moment, they forced smiles throughout. Afraid I might feel uncomfortable, tears suddenly began to fall. Alexander didn't speak, simply drawing me into his embrace. His scent, tobacco mingled with sandalwood, brought profound comfort. For the first time, I wondered if agreeing to marry Alexander hadn't been an impulsive mistake, but rather the wisest decision I'd made in years. My belongings had already been moved into Alexander's mansion by staff. "Decorate or furnish however you prefer," he said, leading me upstairs. The master suite occupied the entire third floor, complete with private lounge, study, home theater, lavish walk-in closet, and dual bathrooms. My clothes hung freshly laundered and pressed, while an entire wall displayed designer handbags, limited editions from every major luxury house, including 24 Hermes Birkins starting at 6 figures. "I chose styles I thought you'd like. We'll replace anything that doesn't suit you. They're perfect." "Alexander, really?" My voice faltered. Even during Ethan's most ardent pursuit, he'd never indulged in such extravagance. What woman could remain indifferent to jewels, silks, and leather treasures? I proved no exception. Alexander smoothed my hair. "Change into something elegant. We're dining out tonight." I'll forever remember that evening, the yacht on Victoria Harbor, fireworks painting the sky crimson and gold. In the empty restaurant, fine wine and delicacies warmed our senses, but the sea breeze truly stirred my heart. Though technically our wedding night, Alexander slept in the suite's adjoining bedroom. His goodnight kiss lingered briefly before he disappeared behind closing doors. Lying in the dim light, I wondered, who taught this man such tenderness? Had some unforgettable first love shaped him? Yet what did it matter? We'd known each other mere days. What significance could I possibly hold for him? Alexander's legal team dissolved my contract with Starlight Entertainment, though he suggested joining his media conglomerate. I partnered with manager Fong Jia to establish my own studio, partly to avoid preferential treatment rumors, partly to ensure professional independence should our marriage end. While Fong handled business logistics, I auditioned relentlessly. Meanwhile, Emma secured the female lead's best friend role in Eric's new film through Ethan's influence. When the challenging antagonist role remained uncast, I submitted my application. Director Eric frowned upon my entrance yet granted me a reading. The script pages trembled slightly in my hands as I began. During my audition, director Eric Sullivan, who had been lounging casually in his chair, suddenly straightened up with growing intensity. By the end of my performance, I'd secured the antagonist's supporting role. On the first script reading day, Emma regarded me with open disdain. She played the second female lead while my character ranked fourth in prominence. Yet no one anticipated Eric would have the screenwriter overhaul the script. Dozens of new scenes expanded my role while Emma's part shrank dramatically. Her face darkened instantly. The next morning, Ethan stormed onto set. I was suspended mid-air on wires dozens of stories high when he halted production. As Emma wept dramatically below, tensions erupted between Ethan and Eric until the entire crew froze in stalemate, everyone seemingly forgetting me dangling above. "Today I'm drawing the line," Ethan declared. "This production chooses between Emma and Vivian. Vivian earned this role through merit," Eric countered. "Her talent fits perfectly. I won't replace her." "Then shut it down," Ethan snapped. "No cameras roll until she's gone." The financial hemorrhage of idling a major production forced Eric's hand. Yet as Ethan turned to leave, he paused dramatically. "Let's compromise. If Vivian endures wire work for 12 continuous hours, I'll withdraw all objections to your creative decisions." Gasps rippled through crew members. Veteran stunt coordinators shook their heads. No professional could withstand that torture. Ethan's smile turned glacial. "Why not ask Vivian herself?" When Eric's voice crackled through my earpiece repeating the ultimatum, my heartbeat remained steady. Ethan knew about my acrophobia, how even brief aerial shots required teeth-gritting endurance. A full day? He understood this meant psychological annihilation. Yet this storm centered around me. This role mattered. Working with Eric mattered more. I accept. Vivian. Eric's voice wavered. Stories transcend everything. I recited hoarsely. First lesson at film school. Hundreds rely on this production, I won't be the anchor dragging it down. By hour 3. My breakfast of dry toast and skim milk churned acidically. Dizziness blurred my vision as sweat saturated multiple costume layers. When I requested a bathroom break, Ethan blocked it coldly. Return to me. He murmured. And all past wounds vanish. My weakened headshake ignited his fury. Fine. Hang there until your goddamn stubbornness kills you. He stormed off with Emma trailing smugly. Searing tinnitus soon drowned all sound. White spots exploded across my sightline before darkness swallowed consciousness. I awoke in sterile hospital sheets. For dripping into cleansed skin. Mystery hands having changed me into soft cotton pajamas. The air carried the scent of disinfectant mixed with a familiar crisp sandalwood fragrance. Instinctively glancing around, I immediately spotted Alexander asleep on the sofa. Darkness had fallen outside the window, a full day had passed unnoticed. As I attempted to sit up, the slight movement roused Alexander. He stood swiftly, crossing to my bedside in 3 strides. His warm fingers brushed my forehead as he spoke with a sleep-roughened voice. Awake? How do you feel? Thirsty? Hungry? Water. Please. Wait a moment. He returned promptly with warm honey water, supporting me as I drank half the glass before helping me lie back. Alexander, the film crew situation, with Ethan's temperament. Don't worry. Ethan has more pressing concerns now. He tucked the blanket around me firmly. Vivian. Even unannounced. You remain my wife. Should I stand idle while you're mistreated? His face showed faint weariness as I lowered my gaze. I'm sorry for the trouble. For men like me, even a pet deserves respect. You're my lawful spouse. Rest first. The filming can wait. He checked his watch. I must catch an urgent international flight. The housekeeper will care for you these days. Go ahead. I'll be fine after resting. After adjusting my blanket and kissing my forehead, he murmured, back in 2 days. His secretary entered, gathering scattered documents and laptops before they departed. His evident exhaustion suggested he'd rushed here mid-crucial work. Guilt twisted my heart. I'd intended to maintain boundaries, yet still burdened him. Now he faced a red-eye flight because of me. When Alexander returned from his business trip, I'd just finished filming an intense scene of my character's drunken seduction to assassinate the main antagonist, answering his call without removing makeup. I rushed out wearing heavy stage cosmetics and reeking of liquor. The car door opened to reveal his frown. How much did you drink? Needed for the scene. My unsteady step prompted him to brace me. Home. He instructed the driver. Slowly. Despite cautious driving, mild turbulence unsettled me. Alexander drew me against his chest, my makeup transferring to his dress shirt. Mr. Hamilton. It seems I've stained your clothes. The fading twilight cast dim and hazy illumination inside the carriage. Alexander's fingers brushed through the curls framing my face. What did you call me? Mr. Hamilton. Vivian Mitchell. He murmured, the alcohol thickening his voice with dangerous allure. Think carefully. What should you really call me? Pressed against his chest. I shut my eyes and whispered, husband. Alexander's lips descended. Not the chaste forehead kisses from before, but deepening exploration that left me trembling. That night, he didn't retreat to the adjoining room. Emerging from my bath, I burrowed beneath silken sheets like a nervous cocoon, pulse racing in the darkness. I didn't understand my own apprehension, this cocktail of dread and anticipation coiling tighter until he appeared by the bed. You'll suffocate yourself. Alexander chuckled, peeling back the covers. I kept my eyes sealed shut, lashes fluttering wildly. Vivian. His voice stayed mercifully still. We can wait until you're ready. My eyes flew open. Alexander. Have you ever loved someone before? Yes. No hesitation. Of course. Just as I carried my own ghosts. How could a man of his stature remain untouched by heartbreak? Yet what mortal could resist him? Does that affection linger? Instead of answering, he captured my lips again. Would you prefer I cherish another? I only meant. My protest dissolved as his mouth found my earlobe. You are my wife now. Unless you wish to neglect marital obligations. Heat flooded my cheeks. That's not, Vivian. Yes? Close your eyes. His palm settled at my waistband, scorching through thin fabric. Tell me if anything discomforts you. I'd assumed his corporate rigor extended to the bedroom. How gravely I'd miscalculated. The man who commanded boardrooms with ascetic precision now unraveled me with relentless precision. Alexander. Tomorrow's filming schedule. My exhausted plea only intensified his movements. Still thinking of work? His breath hitched against my neck. Thrusts turning punishing. What about me? The broken moan escaped before I could stop it. Alexander, what should I call you? Before I could utter Alexander Hamilton, his movements shattered the words into breathless fragments. In the end, I could only whimper. Hubby. Good girl. Say it again. Hubby. Vivian. Alexander deepened his kiss, murmuring against my lips. You'll call me this every time from now on. Understood? Yes, hubby. My vision blurred with tears that he tenderly kissed away even as his rhythm turned punishing. With Ethan out of the picture, filming progressed smoothly. Emma's wooden acting proved so disastrous that director Eric slashed her supporting role by 2/3. Meanwhile, my originally minor character expanded to rival the female lead screen time. After wrapping production, Alexander accompanied me to visit my parents in the mainland. Their initial anxieties about my Hong Kong marriage dissolved upon meeting him. His steady demeanor charmed them completely, especially my mother, who became so enamored with her new son-in-law she nearly forgot her only daughter existed. Alexander observed every tradition meticulously, transforming our living room into a glittering display of betrothal gold and presenting $10 million in betrothal funds deposited under my name. The piece de resistance was the $1,010,000 cash dowry arranged in traditional red envelopes. Yet nothing reassured my parents more than seeing our official marriage certificate, finally erasing lingering shadows from my previous undefined relationship with Ethan. For 3 days, Alexander became the perfect son-in-law fishing with my father, accompanying my mother to the grocery store, even patiently enduring her frenzied bragging to every neighbor. This is my son-in-law. Works in Hong Kong. Not even 30 yet, doesn't he look like a movie star? I nearly collapsed laughing as he maintained perfect composure under the scrutiny of every auntie in the neighborhood. Our departure left mother weeping until Alexander charmed her into laughter, promising a New Year's reunion in Hong Kong. Back in the city, my career blossomed, with Ethan consumed by overseas corporate fires and director Eric's public praise opening doors. I filmed 2 movies, a TV drama, and released 2 singles before Eric's film even premiered. The darkly complex anti-heroine I portrayed earned rave reviews, with industry insiders whispering about awards potential. When Eric offered me the lead in his next project, I knew the Best Actress trophy was no longer just a daydream. But at that moment, I unexpectedly fainted in the recording studio and was rushed to the nearest hospital. I was 6 weeks pregnant. Due to long-term dieting, my pregnancy condition wasn't ideal. Low blood sugar during recording had caused the sudden collapse. However, upon learning about the pregnancy, my first thought was, what does Alexander think? Does he want this child? After all, he once had someone he loved deeply. We never discussed children before getting married. My heart filled with indescribable anxiety. Yet there lingered a faint thread of anticipation. When the hospital door opened and Alexander entered with a grave expression, my heart sank. Alexander. He walked to the bedside and sat down, fixing me with a stern gaze. Didn't you notice your missed period? They've always been irregular. I whispered in explanation. I'm sorry, Alexander. Did I cause more trouble? According to my agent Fong Jia, she'd immediately called Alexander when I fainted. He'd been in a meeting but abruptly left, even running 3 red lights on his way to the hospital. This was completely unlike his usual composed self, the man who calmly handled major work crises. You've ignored my warnings about extreme dieting twice before, he said. The camera adds 10 pounds. It's unavoidable. My fingers twisted the bedsheet. I've informed Su Fong to suspend all your work commitments. No, Alexander. We agreed I wouldn't leave the industry. I want to keep working. I'm not ending your career. After the baby's born and you've recovered, you can act or sing as you wish. But not now. Vivian. You must stop working immediately. Do you really want this child? Why would you think I wouldn't want our baby? I lowered my head, the unspoken words choking me. I feared we'd become that cliché story the moment his former love returned. He'd abandon me and our child without hesitation. While I could accept such an outcome myself, I refused to let an innocent child suffer the consequences. Alexander. I murmured. I kept thinking, without a child, you could end our marriage anytime. But with a baby involved, it would be cruel, especially since you once loved someone else. If she ever comes back, she already has. My eyes widened in shock. His former love had returned? How had I never heard? Alexander must have protected her privacy meticulously. We legally married 8 months ago, he said, holding my gaze. Vivian. I didn't enter this marriage lightly or carelessly. I've been serious from the beginning. I don't understand. Why me? Love defies logic. If I must give a reason. His stern expression softened. Consider it love at first sight. You liked me that early? The timing was accurate. When was it? When you and Ethan had just gotten together. How could you covet your own nephew's girlfriend? Isn't that right? Alexander smiled faintly. I've asked myself the same question. As I said before, matters of the heart are inexplicable. But I must clarify one point. Before your breakup with Ethan, I never entertained any improper thoughts. It was only after you and Ethan separated that I began developing feelings. At this point, Alexander's eyes deepened with subtle amusement. I simply never anticipated that before I could make my move, you'd approach me first. I recalled that awkward misunderstanding that night. What had been mortifying in the moment now carried different meaning. Perhaps some things were predestined. During my 4th month of pregnancy, I won my first Best Actress award through director Eric's film. While accepting the honor on stage, I unexpectedly noticed Ethan sitting in the front row VIP section, just like when I performed on that stage years earlier. Back then, he hadn't spared me a single glance, treating me like a stranger. Now his gaze burned openly against my face. My flowing gown concealed any trace of pregnancy. During the post-award interview when asked about future projects, I announced my temporary retirement from entertainment. The audience erupted in shocked whispers. The stunned host pressed for reasons, resting my hand over the slight curve beneath my dress. I smiled radiantly. My husband prefers I focus on my health during this first trimester. The moment those words fell, Ethan abruptly stood from his seat, eyes blazing. I didn't acknowledge him, simply bowed and exited the stage with my trophy. Alexander was waiting, handing the award to my assistant. I gathered my skirts and rushed toward him before my coat could be helped on. Vivian. Stay still. His brow furrowed with poorly concealed anxiety as he closed the distance between us. arms enveloping me protectively. Have you forgotten the doctor's instructions? No running. But I missed you. Rising on tiptoes, I brushed my lips against his, smoothing the crease between his brows. Don't scowl, darling. You look terrifying when you're serious. The tension eased from Alexander's features as he leaned into the kiss. Tired? Exhausted. Let's go home. His chuckle warmed my forehead where he pressed another kiss. As my lady commands. Ethan stood frozen nearby, while Madame Cole gaped in disbelief behind him. When Alexander turned me toward the exit, the matriarch's trembling finger pointed accusingly. Alexander. How could you, with this cabaret singer? Her background. Though years had passed since my connection with Ethan, the public humiliation still stung. Alexander drew me closer, his palm steady against my back. Cabaret singer? Have you forgotten my own grandmother studied music and performed professionally? His quiet tone carried steel. Talent transcends social constructs. Madam. Mrs. Cole's face turned deathly pale. Ethan seemed to snap back to reality. Uncle. He gritted his teeth before continuing. You and Vivian. She used to be my girlfriend. Aren't you afraid of public censure for doing this? When exactly was she your girlfriend? Alexander's voice cut through the air like frost. For the past 2 years. Did anyone in all of Hong Kong know about your relationship? But those close to me. What does that matter? You can't exploit your seniority to take Vivian from me. If I recall correctly. Alexander interrupted coldly. 3 months ago at the Roberts family banquet. The family had publicly declared your mother is no longer considered an adopted daughter of the Hamilton family. Therefore, what seniority remains? From now on, you may address me as Mr. Hamilton. With finality, Alexander guided me away by the waist. Ethan and Mrs. Cole attempted to follow but were blocked by Alexander's security detail. His hand remained firmly around mine until we reached the car. Once seated, I couldn't contain my curiosity. Why was Mrs. Cole disowned? The family had long been displeased with her exploiting the Hamilton name for shady dealings. Only out of respect for my late grandmother's affection for her did he tolerate it. When her slander against you reached his ears, that was the final straw. Because of your grandmother? Partly. The other reason was you. Me? Alexander's thumb brushed my cheek affectionately. Your debut performance of Moonlight Over the Waves, my grandmother's favorite song. The family had thought you sounded remarkably like her. He listened to your recording constantly during those days. So that explained the unexpected warmth from the Hamilton elders during my first visit. I remembered the family head's kind eyes crinkling as he watched me, radiating grandfatherly affection, leaning against Alexander's chest. I sighed as his warm palm settled protectively over my abdomen. The car hummed smoothly toward our home. Half asleep, I murmured against his collar. What do you love about me? Countless things beyond words. His answer wasn't flowery, yet warmth blossomed in my chest. Love defies explanation. Like how I could never articulate why Alexander's presence anchored me. Why every stolen glance across a room set my pulse racing. Why I craved his proximity like oxygen. I drifted off to the rhythm of his heartbeat, smiling faintly when I felt his lips brush my temple.